My name is Kena Robling. I'm a mother of 6, a wife. We've been attending Redemption Church for about 17 years now. I'm a chapter leader along with my husband Lanny for SaveOne Abortion Recovery. My story begins in April of 1991. I was a senior in high school. I was 17 years old and I was pregnant. I was afraid, I was ashamed, and I was embarrassed that I allowed this to happen to myself. I told my best friend that I was pregnant, and she immediately asked me what I was going to do. I told her I would end it. The problem would be removed, and I would resume my life as normal. About the time I found out I was pregnant, my grandfather had a massive stroke and was hospitalized in Evansville. My mom set up the appointment for the abortion. A little more than a week before I was all set to end the pregnancy, in the early morning hours of April 4th, my grandfather died. I felt like I was to blame for his death. I had already made the decision to take the life of my unborn child, a child God loved. So in turn, God took my grandpa from me, whom I loved. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a life for a life. And I believed this lie for many years. The week after we buried my grandpa, my mom drove me down to Louisville, Kentucky, to the abortion facility. I remember walking in the back entrance to avoid the protesters in the front of the building. I remember sitting in a very crowded waiting room with many other girls. I have no memory of the abortion room. I have no idea if the doctor was a man or a woman. I have no memories of the horrible suction sounds that many girls have nightmares about for years. I have no memory of the recovery room, no ride home, nothing. I have a few possible explanations for why I may not have any memory of this day. 1, the abortion was so traumatic that in order for me to psychologically cope, I have shut down those memories. 2, I have denied my abortion for so long that those memories may have been there at one time, but I've locked them away. Or 3, God has graciously removed those memories from my mind because He knows just how much pain I can take. After the abortion, I closed the door on that experience in my life. It was a topic that I would not talk about. My mom never asked me about it, and we just went on with life as if nothing had changed. But I had changed. My first thought every morning for 26 years was, why can't I just die? I had no will to live. Shortly after entering college, I had a severe bout of depression. It lasted from September to March, and this pattern continued for the next 25 years. Thankfully, God is so much greater than I can ever imagine. He never gave up on me. The past 4 years, God has worked miracles in my life. I told our small group, and each time I told another person about my abortion and brought this sin into the light, the less of a stronghold it had over me. 4 years ago, Shane and Stacy Lindauer, a couple from our small group, invited Lanny and me to the Davies County Right to Life banquet. I've sat at a women's retreat and silently listened to other Christian women bash women who have had an abortion. So hesitantly, I went, and how thankful I am that I accepted that invitation. I would not be standing before you here today in total freedom had I not heard the speaker that evening. After hearing her speak, God gave me a new calling and a new mission, and I knew immediately what I needed to do. Within 3 weeks, Lanny and I were in Daryl's office, telling him our very unpolished abortion stories and asking him if we could lead a SaveOne chapter in our church. I hadn't even done the Bible study yet. He told me to do the study, and then we could meet back and talk about it. But yes, he thought it was a good idea. I thought, piece of cake, just another Bible study. I could knock this 12-week study out in 4 weeks. I had 26 years of unraveling to do. God needed me to be alone with my thoughts and my emotions before he could use me for his kingdom work. I want to stress that it is not the SaveOne Bible study that healed me. It is who the SaveOne study so beautifully pointed me to, and that is Jesus Christ, my Savior. It showed me that I had to bring the sin of my abortion out into the light so Jesus' healing could begin. At the end of the 12-week SaveOne Bible study, we released balloons honoring our children in heaven. So when I went through the Bible study with a gal, I released my balloon on the same day with her. It was a morning in May 3.5 years ago. Upon leaving our celebration that day, I thought to myself, this is about the time I had my abortion. I had blocked out the date of my abortion and only knew approximately the timing due to my grandpa's death. So I Googled a calendar from May of 1991, and of course, God would graciously bless me with my balloon release on the 27th anniversary of my abortion. God is so good. If you would have told me 5 years ago that I was going to be leading an abortion recovery group and talking to people about my abortion, I would have told you you were crazy. It was a secret I had intended to take to the grave with me. But God has worked miracles. And he said, go, and I went. So with my husband, we began leading the group. It was what God told me to do. God has given us free choice, and he gives us free choice for a reason. Sometimes we choose the right path, sometimes we choose the wrong. But no matter what path we choose, God can use that for his good and for building up his kingdom. I've known God long enough now to know that when he tells me to do something, he's not going to let it go. He's going to pursue me, and he's going to bug me, and he's going to keep on me until I say yes. So this one wasn't too hard. I knew what I needed to do, and I did it. I am still a work in progress, and God is growing me and stretching my faith in him daily. You've probably heard the saying, sin will take you much farther than you ever thought you would go. Well, let me tell you, faith in God will take you much farther than you ever thought you would go, and the journey is much sweeter.